Today's video is going to be about products, detailing products in particular, the same ones that I've been using for almost 3 years now, which to me means I think they're pretty good, and I think you guys will think they're pretty good too. One thing I've noticed online is that there's so many videos about different detailing products, people trying new stuff, doing different reviews, that if I was a new detailer starting a business or someone who just wanted to keep their car clean on the weekend, I would have absolutely no idea what to choose from. I'm friends with makeup YouTubers that use less products than these dudes. So the intention of today's video is to basically show you exactly what I've been using for the last couple of years. Nothing's really changed, maybe a few minor switches of stuff like random soaps and whatnot, but I've really been stuck on this stuff. I really enjoy it, and I think you guys will too. I'm gonna break the video into 3 categories. So washing and decon, paint correction and polishing, and then protection. So we're gonna go over a couple waxes and ceramic coatings that I've been using. And other than that, I just want to keep it super simple. There's only gonna be a couple products in each category because there's only a couple products that I use in each category. So with that said, I guess we'll get right into it, and I'm gonna start with the pressure washing setup for washing. So this is my pressure washing trolley, and these are my wash buckets that I use for washing. I'm gonna try and go over everything kind of start to finish, how it pans out in the detail, starting with the water. This is tap water. It's not deionized, and it's definitely not flavored. It gets pumped through this feeder hose into my pressure washer, which is now a CARZILLA K1622TS. I've had this one for about 6 or 7 months now. It could be 8. I'm not exactly sure. The past couple of years has been a bit of a blur, but previously I had the Sunjo, which we were mostly using when we were mobile detailing. It was great also, it never broke on me, but when we got a shop, I upgraded to the Comet, which I ended up breaking. User error entirely. I left it on for a weekend while we were gone, and the motor basically just burnt right out on it, which is actually one of the reasons I got this one. So it has auto start stop, which means when you're not pressing the trigger, the unit actually isn't on, which is super cool. It's also a higher gallons per minute, which is better for washing cars. I don't necessarily notice it, but that's what Matt Mormon says, and I kind of trust him. This is a 125-foot Cox reel with a 75-foot Cobra Jet hose on it, going to an MTM stubby wand, which I really enjoy. The Cox reel is bolted down to the table, so it's not going anywhere, and if it goes somewhere, the table's also going somewhere. And this table, it's honestly just a food prep table from Amazon. Scott from Detail Division suggested it, and thank goodness he did, because it's been great. I only have it connected to a 7-foot hose, so it can't really go that far. But if you wanted to have this set up in your garage with a longer hose, you could bring this outside and wash your car. Pretty much take it anywhere and it would be perfect. I use it because I can't really mount anything to these super thin steel sheeted walls. So this is the perfect option, and thank you, Scott, for that. That's pretty much everything that gets the vehicle rinsed. If there's water going on the car, it's coming from this setup right here. Next up for washing is our buckets. We have a wash, rinse, and a wheel bucket. They're all standard 5-gallon buckets on grit guard trolleys, and they have a single classic grit guard in each one of them. Starts with the wheels, so we'll start with all the tools in the wheel bucket. We have a bunch of different wheel woolies, so this is the biggest one, and we use it primarily for the barrel of the wheel. There's also a couple smaller ones. So if the wheel's smaller, typically the caliper will be super close to it, and you can't fit the bigger ones in there. So this works perfect for that, as well as BMW wheels like Val 5s and RSs. All those weaves, this gets in there pretty well, and you can clean them pretty easily. Next up for the faces, there's a bunch of boar's hair and synthetic work stuff brushes for the faces, bigger ones, and then some smaller ones for inside the lug nut holes, as well as where the valve stem is. And then lastly, tire brush for the tires. This is actually an interior brush by Chemical Guys, but I find it cleans the tires the best. They make a similar tire brush, but it's stiffer and sometimes it doesn't get in the letters and different grooves that some tires have, so I found this one works a little bit better. These are all the liquid products that we use for the exterior wash and decon process. Going back to the wheels, P&S Brake Buster. This stuff is awesome. It's non-acid, so it's super safe for you and it's super safe for the car as well. We usually pair that with the IK foamer. I know a lot of you guys don't like this and you think it doesn't work, but for me it's been great. Sometimes the filter in the tip gets clogged and you need to clean it out or replace it. However, if we're doing a maintenance wash, I'm going to use this diluted 1 to 10. And then if we're just starting a detail on a car we've never seen before, typically we'll use it undiluted and pair it with Geon iron or another iron remover. Using an iron remover on your wheels isn't necessary every time, especially if you're washing them weekly, but if they are super dirty and there's stuff embedded in the clear coat or the powder coat of the wheels, this is a very necessary product to make sure they're actually really clean so you can move on to coating them, waxing them, or whatever you want to do. Moving on from the wheel cleaning, we have our car shampoos, and in my opinion, you only ever need 2 of these. First up is Adam's Car Shampoo. This is my maintenance shampoo, so it's pH neutral and it's not going to affect any of the protection that's already on the car. Be it a wax, sealant, or coating, it's just going to add a ton of lubricity to make the washing a bit easier, and so you can introduce as few defects as possible when you're touching it with the mitt and whatnot. Fun fact, this was also my first detailing product I've ever purchased outside of like a Canadian Tire or a Walmart product. Now this is available at both those, so it's not as special, but to me, I enjoy that. Next up is the Avalon King Prep Shampoo. So if we're just starting off with a vehicle and we're going to be doing a decon and a polish and then adding protection later on, this is going to assist you in removing any previous wax or sealant that's on the vehicle. It's also going to allow you to clean it a little bit easier than this will. So decon shampoo, maintenance shampoo, both are awesome and you only really need 2. I pair those with the MTM PF22 foam cannon, which has been awesome and has honestly lasted me years. I haven't actually replaced anything. I don't have the O-ring mod or whatever it is, Orifice mod. This is just it out of the box and it works for me. After we wash comes decontamination. So there is chemical decontamination and mechanical decontamination. I use chemical first, which is going to be your iron remover again, Geon iron. That's going to pull out brake dust and environmental fallout that's embedded in the clear coat or the paint. And the next one is tar, which is pretty self-explanatory. It removes the tar and road grime, road film that's stuck on the paint. And as much as I wish these two could do a perfect job on their own, they can't. You do need to move over to mechanical decontamination if you're going to do an extremely thorough job and prep the paint for polishing. So for mechanical decon, we're going to be using a clay bar and a clay lubricant to slide the clay across the paint. I use Optimum No Rinse in an IK Multi 2.0. Basically, fill a cap of Optimum No Rinse, put it in here, add water up to the line, pump it up, and you're good to go there. This is a Griot's clay bar. It's a medium. There's different levels, light, coarse, medium, but I usually just get the medium for everything. These ones are yellow. There's a new one on the back. I used one, you can see all the contamination in it. It's kind of dark. But yeah, you slide that across the paint to remove any leftover contamination not taken care of by the chemical decon. And at that point, you're basically ready to dry the vehicle. And I don't have my drying stuff over here, but I know I can pretty easily. One thing I didn't mention before is the actual wash mitt that I use. So with microfiber products, I kind of switch them out pretty frequently just so I can have new ones. Geon, G-Technic, CarPro, and Klin are basically the main 4 brands that I use. I'll typically always have one of those. This is the wash mitt I've been using the most recently. It's the Geon Smoothie, paired with their silk dryer towel in the 70 by 90 centimeter. So that's the bigger one. I personally prefer a bigger towel, and then you can just fold it up for the smaller areas. However, if the car is coated already or there is a solid amount of protection on it, I'm going to hit the car with this Ego blower first. It's battery powered and I typically get 2 cars out of a full charge, so it's pretty good. I will discharge it after every vehicle though, so there is a full charge ready for me. And then any little drips that are remaining, I'll hit it with a drying towel, and that's it. It's really, really simple. on to the paint correction and polishing side of things, these are the 3 machines that I'm using for pretty much the entirety of my detailing career. This is the main one. It's the LHR 15 Mark III, so it's the newest generation of the 5-inch polisher with the 15mm throw from Rupes. That's the one I go to if I'm going to be polishing a car. That's the one I'm grabbing just because it has the biggest surface area. All these polishers kind of have the same purpose. They're just different sizes for different areas and nooks and crannies of the car. So 5-inch backing plate, 15mm throw, Rupes LHR 75E, 3-inch backing plate with a 12mm throw, I believe. So just smaller areas, mostly pillars and bumpers. This is what this gets mostly used on. And then this is the nano polisher from Rupes, which has a DA setting and a rotary setting. I find myself mostly using the rotary setting because if there is an area small enough to use this, typically I don't want it oscillating up and down. I want it to stay in one place, so the rotary option is the best for that. The Hybrid Nano from Rupes comes in this really cool kit. This is actually one of my favorite things that I've received in the detailing world, but it has a bunch of different options for backing plates, I guess they would be. There's a 3mm throw, a 12mm throw, and then the rotary function that I was talking about earlier. It has this extension, so if you want to work in really tight areas, you can do that as well. It comes with 2 batteries, the charger, all the tools you need to switch everything over, a couple of Rupes polishes, and a bunch of pads underneath this. They're not in there now, but they typically are there. Yeah, it's just a really cool kit. It's easy to store in the garage. I like it. These are my absolute favorite 3 pads and the only thing that I need to paint correct a car. I found it way easier just to keep your pad combination super simple, and so there's kind of the go-to every time, and instead of buying 100 new pads, you can kind of just add a bunch of the same pads so that you have a collection and they're always fresh. Starting with the Rupes Blue Wool, which is the coarse wool, the one that cuts a little bit harder. It does cut really hard, but it also finishes really easy, so you can just go into a light polish after this and paint is typically perfect. If I'm gonna do a 2-step paint correction, it's gonna be this blue wool pad followed by these orange pads. The 5-inch is a CCS pad from Lake Country and the 3-inch is the Griot's pad. They pretty much have the exact same effect though. I don't see any difference between them. So that's my 2-step paint correction combo. I use that every single time, pretty much no difference ever. And then if I'm gonna do a 1-step, I'm gonna move over to this yellow CCS pad, both from Lake Country. This is their heavy cutting foam pad. I'll use this with Griot's Fast Correcting Cream, which I'll talk about in a second, but that's my 1-step paint correction, kind of an enhancement, which typically gets quite a bit more than just enhancement. It works for me, and I think you guys will like it too. Of course, we have to talk about what I put on the pads. So this is Griot's Fast Correcting Cream, and this is Perfecting Cream. FCC is 100% my favorite detailing product that exists. I tell that to everyone. I truly believe this is the best DA compound around. It cuts super hard, it finishes amazing, and it's super earthy, so you can cycle this for a super long time, which makes it an awesome compound, as well as a 1-step polish if you choose to use it as that. But for a 2-step, you'd be using compound, and Perfecting Cream is your polish, and it's an amazing combo. It works. I've never had an experience where it hasn't worked to the extent that I want it to, so I think it's perfect for me. The tips are a little sus, but it's not really that big of a deal. The last couple things that I think are essential during a paint correction. First one, a pad brush. This is the SM Arnold pad brush. It's great for brushing out your pad after each pass, making sure it's clean so you can apply new compound and hit the panel again. A lot of people use compressed air, but I'm not usually a huge fan of it because it sends the compound dust up into the air onto whatever else you have sitting in the shop, which is not really ideal for me. So I use a pad brush, I wash them out with water as much as possible, and I try to have enough pads to switch it out after pretty much every panel. Lastly, really good microfiber towels, ideally as new as possible or as clean as possible. I prefer to use 350 GSM for removing compound and polish from cars. To me, it feels the softest without linting everywhere. This one's made by Detail Popo, which you can get at CARZILLA, which I'll have links to below. I'm not sure if you can get these in the States, but honestly, any 350 GSM towel works awesome. I'm going to run through the protections from the least effective to the most effective and then everything in between. So first off is bead maker. This is a great maintenance product for when you're washing your car. You can spray it on your car when it's wet and use it as a drying aid, or apply it after the car is dry. You're not going to get the most protection out of this, but it does create a lot of hydrophobicity between washes. It smells awesome, it's super easy to use, and it's also super affordable. Next up after Bead Maker is Colonite 845, more betterly known as insulator wax. This has been around for a super long time. I know they've done some new renditions of it, but it's been this traditional carnauba-based wax forever. This stuff is awesome. Again, super easy to use, and the water behavior you can get from a layer of this is incredible. And since it's a wax, it's kind of that warm shine that I actually prefer over the ceramic products, but obviously this isn't gonna last as long. But a fresh layer of this on your car for a couple months is honestly incredible. Now moving into the ceramic coating products, the first one I'm going to mention of the two is Avalon King's Armor Shield. This is more of a do-it-yourself / entry-level coating. It's going to last 2 years. It can go on your paint, your wheels, your trims, and the glass of your vehicle. Basically cover the whole vehicle in one product, which is awesome and something that the more professional or more expensive brands don't allow you to do. It's going to be a magnitude of different products costing you a lot more money. So in this kit, you get the coating. It comes with gloves, a micro-suede applicator block, the micro-suades. It even comes with a card to tuck those micro-suades into the block so they don't flop around, and then as well as a microfiber towel. Everything in one sleek kit for a super affordable price. So if you want to offer this as kind of an entry-level coating with your business, super easy to do that with it, or just do it to your own car at home on the weekend. It's very easy to use, and for that I really enjoy it. I have it on my personal F30 and it's been great so far. I think it's been about 3 or so months, and now it's winter. Everything's functioning as it should, and I really enjoy it. Moving this to the side, we have a much more complex, much more expensive, and much more harder to use kit from G-Technic. This is their wheel armor, permanent trim restore, glass coating, crystal serum light, and then EXO. This together offers a more professional ceramic coating package for your vehicle. The major difference between these two coatings is that there's obviously a different coating for every single surface of your vehicle with G-Technic, and there's also 2 for the paint, which is going to result in 3 layers during the application process, which is going to add quite a bit of time. Now there's also a major price difference. For all this, you're looking at about $350 Canadian, or about that. I could be slightly off. So if you're doing this on the weekend, you have to worry about the cost as well as the time it's going to add waiting between layers to cure and switching between different products on your vehicle. However, as a business, which is what we were primarily using this as, you can offer a 5-year guarantee on this product through G-Technic, which allows you to charge quite a significant amount of money more for the application of this to clients' vehicles. It's great to apply to your own vehicle, but I think it works and makes way more sense using it as a business. The other small difference between the two products is that the G-Technic one is slightly more difficult to apply. It could be because you're dealing with kind of curing times and waiting to apply the next layer, as well as some of the coating options are just a bit stickier, like the wheel coating in particular. I find it not the easiest to apply, but the result is really nice. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a pretty basic breakdown. I didn't want to go into like crazy detail about any of these products and the chemical makeup of them, because honestly, that stuff just wasn't really important to me when I was first starting out or first getting into different detailing products. So I didn't really think there was much importance in sharing it with you guys. And if you care about that, there's definitely videos about each one of these specific products out there, and you should check them out because they're probably pretty cool too. Thank you guys for watching, and if you want any more content like this, maybe an interior specific detailing product video, I can do that. I'll do it sometime soon if you want it. So let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.